Hello, West Ham Network. It's Holly. I hope you're all well. We have got a lot to talk about because today's chosen topic is Carnage. Let's go. Hello. Welcome to the West Ham Network. If you're new around here, make sure you subscribe. If you're not new around here, or you are, please hit that thumbs up button and get involved in that comment section so that we can all have a nice interactive chat about everything that's going on at West Ham at the moment. So where to begin? West Ham have been burning bridges left, right, and centre, from letting information leak about a new head coach while we still have a current head coach, to our technical director being booted out of the training ground, and one of our summer signings being said to have physically fought with our head coach. So it's been an eventful month or so, and things feel somehow more crazy than ever. But we have seen similar things before at West Ham. So we're going to be chatting about this a little bit because we've seen it with Moyes when we offered him a new contract and then we took that back away. We also had Amorim flying over for talks while we did still have Moyes as manager. But we've seen these situations unfold. And then a lot of people have been talking about the situation with Martin O'Neill that happened. And for anyone that isn't familiar with this, he ruled himself out of the running to become the West Ham manager back in 2011 when he was angry that the news of his likely arrival was leaked to the media. And a big part of his decision was it also felt that from the club side, he was being pushed to rush and make a decision, and he didn't want to decide this too quickly. So ultimately, he turned around and said, this is not the kind of club that I would like to manage at. And you can take this theme back to quite a few managers. You look at Allardyce. We announced his sacking just a few minutes after our final game of the season when we had lost 2-0 to Newcastle. And the published time on the article showed that that was actually written at half-time, or what would have been half-time, at St James's Park, suggesting that the decision was not based on the result of that game, but we were very, very hasty to announce Big Sam's departure, and we didn't even let the dust settle after that full-time whistle. We just cut it, gone, that was it. So we now find ourselves in a situation where the pressure is on massively, and it's all basically our own doing because information has been leaked to the media. Now, who did this, why we did this, why we thought this might be a good idea, God knows. But the picture of Stein and Potter was apparently of a conversation that took place around the Leicester game. And the Leicester game was on the 3rd of December, suggesting that we have been in talks for at least about a month. But the problem is that we have Lopetegui, who is currently still in his role as a head coach. And at points this week, it was reported that he would still manage us against Villa. Now it's being said that that's looking unlikely. I mean, by the time this video goes out, that may well be completely different again. And obviously, everything I'm saying is at this moment in time correct, but things are changing by the minute at the moment. So please do excuse me if there's any further updates. But yet, this media circus has just been unfolding around everything that we're doing. And what chance does that give Lopetegui or the players on focusing on the game at hand and actually picking up points? Because this is the same problem that we faced that put O'Neill off, our inability to keep things confidential around what is actually a very sensitive subject. Because while there might be fans calling for a manager's head, or results might not be going our way, and the media are very much critical, obviously, of performances that aren't going well, there is still a way to conduct business. And to me, this doesn't feel like it at all. And even from a business perspective, taking all my emotions as a fan out of things, it just doesn't make sense because we have shot ourselves massively in the foot. The only upside of this leak would be judging fans' opinions on getting in Potter as a manager, or trying to stay on the good side of certain media. But that is literally where the line is drawn. There's no other potential upside, or even if somebody thought that there was going to be an upside, that's the only things I could think it would be. Because realistically, Potter now knows that we've burnt a bridge with Lopetegui. And as a result of this, we don't only now need to bring in a head coach to improve, but we've got to bring one in, because there's no way that the players are going to respect Lopetegui and play well under him after all of this, or that Lopetegui is actually going to be able to perform to the best of his ability and help the players put in a good performance. So we have now got to this stage where we can't go back on this, and we can't keep Lopetegui. Obviously, this is something we've all been saying for a while. We didn't necessarily want him to stay much longer. But the problem that we have is we've made this public, and we've made this public to the media. And Potter now knows this, obviously. So he was initially, back when the rumours originally started with him, apparently he was initially comfortable with a 6-month deal. So he apparently agreed to this a while back. But we chose to not make the move and stick with Lopetegui a while longer. And now here we find ourselves trying to backpedal and negotiate a deal to get him in. And Potter is in a massive position of power because of the way that we've conducted everything. It's really hard for us to now come back from this, because if negotiations fall through with Potter, and Potter is fully aware of this, how long would it be before we could get to the final stage of negotiating with a different manager? Plus, they would also take advantage of the situation we're in as well. As soon as you say you're desperate for something, suddenly, miraculously, everyone's price goes up, everyone's demands go up. They want longer contracts, they want more money, they want more everything clauses. And ultimately, as a club, you are disadvantaged by that. But we've kind of put ourselves in this position where that's what it is. So, yeah. And on top of that, we've also got Everton, who've got new owners who are probably going to be keen to make a statement, like every new owner is. And they may well try and properly compete for Potter's signature, putting Potter in an even more strong position, because he can play the two of us off against each other. And if they're not that fast, it just means that we have got that bit less bargain power. And all because we could not keep the conversations under wraps. Speaking of burning bridges, though, it's not just the head coach situation. We've got Tim Steidten being kicked out of the training ground by a second manager. And this is on top of rumours that he might not be at West Ham long term either. And this is the same technical director seen in the pictures having discussions with Potter, the next potential head coach. It really does feel all over the place. And everything's just so messy. It's just the only way I can put it at the moment. It's bloody messy. But the one thing I would say is it difficult for a technical director to maintain a good relationship with a head coach and do this well when he is literally the person tasked with replacing the head coach? I think obviously you're going to have strain there. But again, this is where the hierarchy needs to sort of step in and say, this is how we're working and this is what we're doing. And I think that lack of clear vision and that lack of giving everybody clear defined roles and a clear direction that we're heading in is what has caused all this confusion. Whether we've brought Lopetegui in thinking he has power over certain things, which he doesn't, whether we've brought in Steidten and told him that he's got power over certain things that he doesn't, or we've changed the power balance there. All these things just cause carnage, quite frankly. And I think for me, the biggest disappointment is that things did not need to unfold like this and to be so public. The public side of this is what has made this so difficult and so unprofessional, because it was completely unavoidable. There was no need for any of it. We could have left it with the obvious fact that Lopetegui was under pressure. It doesn't take a genius to see our form and to say Lopetegui's under pressure. Fans are angry. Obviously, there's going to be pressure. There were comments that came out when people asked saying, yes, he's under scrutiny. He's under growing pressure. We knew that. It could have been an F there. We could have got an agreement sorted with Potter or spoken with him privately to work out whatever the deal was if Potter was the chosen one, and then let Lopetegui go in the respectful way by having that conversation with him before announcing Potter and just doing things in the right order, because, yeah, things are just so messy. So now we have got public negotiations happening, information being leaked about the stumbling blocks with Potter and Everton, who are likely to test the waters and seeing if they can sneak in somewhere along the way. But ultimately, what that will probably mean is that we end up paying more for Potter, because they're just going to stick their oar in, offer a bit more money or offer a longer contract and just give him a lot more bargaining power. And basically, we have our back up against the wall because we need a manager desperately and we want Potter. So Potter can basically say whatever he wants. And this might have even changed. Like I said, by the time the video goes live, I can't keep up at the moment with all the updates. First, we had the updates where it was all the updates that weren't really updates, the ones that were like, he's under pressure, he's under growing pressure, he's under increasing pressure, which obviously we knew. And we said that there were too many reports for it to be absolutely nothing, that there must be something going on. And obviously we knew that TalkSport had come out and they'd been adamant that he was gone. As we now know, he wasn't gone. They jumped the gun, but everything that's being said is suggesting that Potter is going to be coming in and that Lopetegui is going to be leaving. I just think it's a big shame not announcing that in the correct order. Like, I can't imagine watching Sky Sports and you see that somebody else has been given 24 hours to consider your job when you literally haven't even heard that you're officially losing your job. There's a lot of hearsay in football, isn't there? The amount of times where managers are on their last legs, managers are on the verge of being sacked, managers have one more game, and it actually doesn't mean anything. Whereas hearing that is absolutely insane before that conversation has actually happened. And it's just a shame, because the second you give people a sniff that you're looking to get rid of your head coach and that who you want to bring in, suddenly other people can mess around with it, other clubs can mess around with it. I'm not being funny, but if I was Everton, even if I didn't have the intention of getting Potter, I'd be putting in a little offer. I'd be making it so that basically we end up paying more for him just to screw over your opposition in the Premier League. So who knows? It's going to be an interesting 48 or so hours. But the question that I've got for you, I want to hear your thoughts on all of this. There's no denying that it's a bad look, and we're now becoming known for this back to front approach and changing manager in such an odd way, where it's not really a logical approach or one that benefits anyone, and it's just messy. I don't think there's anything wrong at all with sacking a manager whenever the timing, whatever the timing is that's best for the club, fine. And I agree that it's time for us to part ways with Lopetegui, but there are definitely ways to go about this. And I think we really have shot ourselves in the foot and made things harder. I just hope that we can get Potter over the line quite clearly now, and that it doesn't cause long-term problems. Because honestly, if we lose Potter at this moment in time, we are left not in the later stages of discussions, as far as we're aware, with any other head coach. We're left with a Lopetegui that knows that all hope is gone and it's all over. We're left with players that know that the head coach has zero respect from the club and that they don't have any faith that he can pull anything off. So what incentive does that give us to actually perform well on that pitch? And on top of that, the distraction that this must have caused for the players. Yes, of course, I'm sure they'll remain as professional as they can. But if you were hearing about like your boss or this situation, surely your head is slightly not on the game. Anyway, let us know your thoughts in the comments. I'm going to stop nattering now. Would you like to see us get Potter over the line and put this to bed? Or do you think that this struggle may just drag on for a little while longer? And do you think that getting Potter in could stabilise the onside field of things to at least help steady the ship and get us some results? That's what I want to know. We find ourselves in a strange predicament at West Ham, not for the first time, probably not for the last time, but here we are. Come on, you Irons. Have a great day. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Hit that thumbs up if you haven't already. Thanks as always for watching. And until next time, join me at 5 p.m. with your Hammers headlines for today. Come on, you Irons. Irons. Irons.